Or
No,
did you?
I know because the music, because they're in the music. There's a musical, isn't it? Can you hear me better like this? By the way,
It's Big Girls Don't Cry. I think that's the musical. There is a tribute to Frankie
no,
Valli.
it's Jersey Boys.
Oh yeah, there's also another show they have called Big Girls Don't Cry. I think that's Frankie Valli inspired. I don't know. I mean, who would you rather see if you had to choose? Like, if someone had had your Nintendo Switch over a cliff and said, "Look, if you don't answer this question, it's going over the cliff." That's it. Would you rather watch Frankie Valli or Michael Bolton live in concert? And keep in mind, you have to stay there from the beginning, including the supports from when the doors open. You have to be sat in your seat. You can't go to the loo. You can't get any food. You can't get a beer. You have to, no phones either. You have to be intently watching that stage from beginning to end. Would it be Michael Bolton or would it be Frankie Valli?
I think probably Michael Bolton. I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Bolton.
Everything I do for you. Oh wait, that's not him, is it?
Who's Mickey Bolties, as we call him?
What's that one song that Michael Bolton's got, which isn't even his? It's a cover. It's like something about love. Oh, when a man loves a woman.
Oh yeah.
Just watch that and repeat. That's got to be a depressing night, though. Michael Bolton.
Didn't he? He did. Is he not on the Hercules soundtrack?
No, that is. Is that Donny Osmond? Was that Frank?
Yeah, Donny Osmond sings Hercules, but I think does he
no,
not do I'll be on my way? I can go he does go the distance.
No, he doesn't.
I think it's the version that plays over the credits.
You have got to be kidding me. I'd have oh my god, he does. That has given me a whole new opinion of that man and his flowing lock of curly hair. That is great. Then no one will beat Donny Osmond and his let's get down to business.
Well, quite.
There's nothing will quite top that classic hit. Hello, everybody. Hi, everyone. Thank you for downloading this podcast. Thank you for listening to us. This is the Heroes of Handheld podcast. This is the podcast dedicated to handheld gaming. We like to talk about Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Vita, mobile, and everything in between. If it's a handheld gaming device, we'll probably talk about it. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Colin, and I'm joined by the man who sat in his fancy London studio, the capital of this country. He's got Big Ben in the background. He's got the London Eye to his left, and he's also got Paddington Station below him. It's Chris.
Hi, Colin. How are you?
I'm all right. It's got to the point now where I think it's because we're far enough into November and near enough to December where I think you can start listening to Christmas songs now. But I don't want to get to the point where all the big ones, I know you get the big hits every year, like your Mariah Carey's and your Wham and your Shakin' Stevens, but I don't want to be sick of those songs before it's too early. I'm a big fan of Christmas, Chris. I do like it. So I'm just dipping my toe in a little bit at the moment, and I'm playing the Christmas songs that are on the cusp, the ones that aren't as
like the festive songs rather than the Christmas songs.
Yes, exactly. So I've been listening to who have we listening to? Leona Lewis. Been listening to a bit of some song from Home Alone 2. Can't remember who sings it. You know, we're fully into the Christmas season when you start listening to Michael Bublé. So we haven't got to that stage yet. I don't know when's the right time, really. Maybe in about a week or so.
I
to December.
Saw my first Christmas film of the year on the weekend.
That is disgusting. What did you see?
Yeah. I went to see the new Grinch film.
Oh, right. Okay. Now, I'm a big fan of the Grinch. I love the book by Dr. Seuss, and I love the original animation by Hanna-Barbera. I think it was them who did that animation. Didn't like the Jim Carrey film. Hated it because it was nothing like the original book, the story. How was the Illuminations' take on the Grinch?
I think you will probably, if you like the original book, which I've not read, it's quite different. It's fun, like it's all right, but it's not made for me, is it? That's the thing. It's made for younger people to watch and enjoy. I thought it was like it made me laugh a bit. The best bit though is before the film, like before the main film, there's a short, like how Pixar do, Illumination do it as well, and it's Minions, and it's called Yellow is the New Black, and it's two minions involved in a prison break. And the thing is, right, Minions are really fucking annoying, but they really get the slapstick right. Like I do genuinely laugh a lot watching it, but watching Minion stuff, because like the slapstick and the voices, it's just really funny. It's just really like pure.
That's the difference between Disney, Pixar, Disney Animation, and Illumination, is the fact that Disney and Pixar most of the time with their shorts anyway come up with original stories, whereas it seems to me that Illumination just like copy things that are popular in popular culture, like Orange is the New Black. They're just copying like a TV series.
Well, I mean, they're copying it in name only. Like it's not quite on the.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same story as.
You're saying there's no red. There's no red cook.
No. It's it's all right. I don't know if you'll like it very much. I think you'll probably watch it one Christmas, and you'll be like, "Oh, Chris was right about this film. It's like a solid 5 out of 10."
So it's difficult for you to review it, in my opinion, because you don't know the original story or the original.
No.
Have you seen the original animation?
All I know is that if I had to sum the Grinch up in 3 words, I'd probably say stink, stank, stunk.
Where's Ken from Street Fighter? Is that what you'd say? Is that how you'd
Well,
describe it?
that is what I'd say. Don't even.
Whoa.
Don't even.
Amazing.
Leave it.
I'm surprised. I see early, but then maybe I'm pushing it a bit too far. Maybe I need to watch my first Christmas film.
Well, I didn't. The problem is, my partner suggested it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice thing to do on a Sunday." Not really thinking about the fact it's a Christmas film.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So I felt like I was tricked a little bit, but oh well, it's good. It was okay.
If you go into the Grinch not thinking you're seeing a Christmas film, I think that you're the one that's being a bit naive.
Yeah, I was just being a bit dense, really. But speaking of films, Colin,
yeah,
I want to get into something straight away, and that is this new Detective Pikachu trailer.
Yes, though this sort of came on the scene a few days ago, and we knew it was coming because we've discussed it before. But it was really interesting seeing the greater world's thoughts on it. People who weren't aware this was in the works and it was coming, and it seems to be most people it's universally sort of loved. Like I've not had any negative thoughts on it. I thought it was great. I think I can't. This must be the first time that Pokemon and live action have been a thing. Like this hasn't been done before. I can't think.
Yeah, I've never seen Pokemon animated like this, rather than like anime style.
Yeah, so that's it's really cool, and I really like the animation style. I think it looked really cool. I mean, there's a lot of comments on obviously Pikachu looks very cute. Fluffy and whatever, but a lot of opinions on the other Pokemon that don't look so cute and look a bit too lifelike. I think the main issue people had was Mr. Mime, which he did look pretty creepy, but was really coolly animated. I really like the look of it. I like the setting, and obviously based on the video game Detective Pikachu. I like where they're going with it, with Ryan Reynolds doing the voice. I think I really love it if it was more towards the Deadpool spectrum, not in terms of violence and stuff, but in terms of how sassy he is. I mean, obviously the film's going to probably be a PG or whatever, but it would be cool to see like a Pikachu voiced by Ryan Reynolds, like being a bit edgy, like maybe a or something. But that wouldn't happen, unfortunately.
I can see why they. Yeah, it's to do with Pokemon and their brand, isn't it? But it's it'd be. I think this could be one of the better video game movies that we see, because it looks like weird and fun and kind of magical, and not just like it doesn't look generic, Yeah.
I mean, a prime example for me that shows that this has an appeal to a wider audience is my partner. She watched it. I showed it to her, and she instantly really liked it. And what really drew her in was Ryan Reynolds doing the voice.
Yeah.
That's sort of like that, having that well-known actor who's known for more humorous roles at the moment. He's on top of his game. That's going to draw in the wider audience, the people who particularly, who might not be that interested in Pokemon. So I think it's been a very clever bit of casting there. And I'm really enjoying. I think it looks fun, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I think it could be really good. Like I've got a good feeling about it, and the the design on the Pokemon is just so cool. Like, I realize it's not for everyone, but I was just watching it like, this is the, if it takes Detective Pikachu for us to get live action Pokemon before we get them in another context, like, that's fine by me. Like, I'll happily watch Detective Pikachu, like a kind of PG or 12 rated sort of charming film about Pikachu and Pokemon and friendship, if that's what it takes to get like live action Pokemon to be more of a thing.
Well, here's a question for you. Who did it better, the Detective Pikachu or Garfield? What was the best CGI animal or creature?
I don't know. I've not really watched Garfield. Why are you saying that? Why are you being weird?
Right. I thought it'd be funny. If you'd seen Garfield, you'd understand. It's the live action Garfield film where Garfield's really badly animated, and that's what's funny. The joke is, it's terrible. Brilliant.
Hilarious.
That's literally rubbish. Right. Okay, well, it looks cool. Another trailer this week for Toy Story 4. We had 2 actually, which was cool. Won't spend too much time on that, but yeah, it came from nowhere. These 2 teasers, people weren't expecting it, and I can't believe Toy Story 4 is out next year. I was thinking, I'm excited. I think it looks great, and with the spoon, they've got a lot of avenues where they can explore like identity and being yourself and what it means to be you. So you can tell where the potential messages are going to come from in this one. But yeah. Exciting.
Can't wait.
And the animation looks sick. Right. Should we, because we're talking about Pokemon, shall we go on to Pokemon Go? I see you put something about Niantic finally updating the CP.
Yeah. Only a very little thing is that Niantic have tweeted to say that at 1:00 PST on November 14th, so basically in a couple of hours, there's going to be a big CP rearrange. They've been promising this for a while, which means some of your strong Pokemon will get weaker, some of your weak Pokemon will get stronger. I don't know if you saw as well that earlier they tweeted in a week that because of the release of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu on Friday, they're going to have a Kanto event in-game.
Nice.
Now, here's the thing. It is nice, but also I thought they were releasing Gen 4. Like, Pokemon Go, I do feel sometimes really struggles with its messaging in terms of like, are we releasing Gen 4? Are we releasing Gen 1? Like, how are we doing this? I just feel a bit like
they've only just released Gen 3, haven't they?
Well, Gen 3 has been out for ages. Gen 4 is the one that's petering out at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. That's why.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit apprehensive, but I guess we'll see how they do it. And I guess people love shinies and all that stuff. And presumably we'll get some sort of special limited Pokemon Pikachu as well. But yeah, CP changes. There's a longer blog. We don't know which Pokemon will be affected, but it will be interesting to see what changes and what becomes more or less viable.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And I think hopefully it'll mean Pokemon in gyms, because at the moment it's like Chansey, Blissey, Wailord, and then 3 randoms normally.
That's what it's been for a long time, though. Pokemon Go. I was going to say something about Pokemon Go. I can't remember what it was. Can't be very interesting. No, forget it. Let's move on. Done. Dead to me.
Move on. Whilst we're doing mobile games,
yeah,
I wanted to quickly talk about a game I've been playing called Endless Archery. I saw about this.
Endless.
I saw about this because the person who made it posted on the Desert Golfing subreddit and was like, I really like Desert Golfing. This is a kind of similar type of game, but with different physics and stuff.
There's a Desert Golfing subreddit.
Yeah.
Wow. How many people are in that subreddit?
It's not very active, and what you find with it as well is that basically there's a post every week which is the same, people getting stuck on the same hole, and I know because I posted when I got stuck on that hole, and then it's like, oh, actually the answer's already there. But anyway, Endless Archery, it's kind of like Desert Golfing, but I would say it's slightly more complicated in terms of physics and stuff, because you adjust the angle and the strength, but there's also a wind factor to take into account. So you can do some quite interesting trick shots by, shooting high and then having the wind take the arrow. And it's the same kind of idea where the level goes up and up and the score goes up and up. It's slightly prettier. I'd say it's less bleak than Desert Golfing. It costs, I think it's $1.99. It's not particularly expensive, but I'd recommend checking it out. If you can play it in landscape. which is a good, a nice, easy way to play. And yeah, I would check it out if you like desert golfing and you want something a bit different, something with a bit more of an interesting challenge. And I would say desert golfing is purposefully very minimalist, whereas this is a bit more of a physics game. Then yeah, check it out. It's called Endless Archery.
I can confirm it's £1.99 on the UK store as well.
There you go. Can't go wrong.
I've been playing a game as well, which I'm quickly going to mention. I don't think I've mentioned this before. A game called 99 Ball Blast, or Ball Blast for sure. And this is by our good friends Voodoo. We've spoken about them a lot. They are a big publisher of mobile games, and there's a bit of negativity around them because there was that game where you're a big circle and you eat buildings and stuff, which they copied. And a lot of people weren't happy because it copied someone else's game. Anyway, I like their games. Anyway, this is called Ball Blast, and you are a cannon, and different landscapes and different balls are dropping towards you, and each ball has a number on. And that number depicts how many bullets you have to hit it with before it explodes and disappears. So it sounds a bit weird, but it's actually really, really addictive. So you have to keep your thumb on the screen and you move your cannon from left and right. And if the ball hits you, you die instantly. So the further you get through the levels, the bigger balls will be on the screen and they'll have higher numbers. So for example, we'll say 600, which means you have to shoot it 600 times for it to get smaller. And you have to get it smaller and smaller until it disappears. And it gets really, really difficult later on in the harder stages because you'll have one that will be like, you can upgrade your cannon so you shoot more bullets and your fire rate's higher. But it gets really, really intense when you've got a ball that's like got 1.4K hits it needs, and then there's no one that needs 600, no one needs 500. So you've got to like manage where you shoot, and you've got to make sure there's not loads on the screen at one time. But though that you'll start with loads of big ones, the more you shoot them, they'll split into two smaller ones. They keep splitting into two, so it gets more intense. It's actually really addictive, really fun, and it's free to download as well. Ball Blast. There are adverts.
I'm going to download it now.
You would. I would recommend it. It took me a little while, but I'm really addicted to it. It's really fun. Just pick up and play. You just like play a level. I mean, levels probably last about a minute maximum, so it's really cool, really fun. And it's called Ball Blast. I would definitely recommend it. And if I say ball one more time, people may start asking questions. So
Ball Blast.
Let's move on. I just want to quickly mention, there's a very brief news story. I mean, we want to get onto the sort of biggest news of the week, sort of biggish, but the fact that YouTube is now available on Nintendo Switch. This is exciting.
I haven't downloaded it yet, have you?
No, I've not turned on my Switch in about a month. That is bad, I know. But what you can do, everybody, is you can download the YouTube app. You can search for Road to Disney, and you can subscribe.
Oh, you're such a prick. You could have said it was Handheld.
Yeah, you can do that as well, but then you could also subscribe to Road to Disney for all your Disney needs, because everyone loves Disney, and why not watch a grown man walk around a park and get teary? It's the dream. It's the dream. But no, I haven't checked it out yet. I mean, it makes sense to have it on Switch because of the lovely screen and it's portable. I mean, I'm surprised it took this long. Just holding out now for the Netflix app, which hopefully won't be far behind for streaming. Because you can do streaming on YouTube. We'll see. I used to like the YouTube app on my PlayStation Vita. So hopefully this one's just as good.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's really good, actually. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on my Vita. But yeah, cool. It's good that it's finally here. That sort of took us a bit by surprise last week because it was just announced, oh, now YouTube's available. Like, oh, okay, thanks. There you go. Right. So before we get on to the Game Awards, is there anything else you want to talk about? I see there's a few more things you've.
Yeah, there's a couple. I've got a couple of little stories that I wanted to just mention. The first one is that, and this is kind of sad. Actually, well, it is sad. Prima Games are shutting down. This is the company run by DK Doreen Kingsley, publishing company that have been publishing video game guides for 28 years. There's apparently 40 people who work there, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. Like different offices are closing down. I mean, it's one of those weird ones, isn't it? Because it's sad, but also I haven't bought a game guide in a really long time, and to be honest, like the internet kind of killed it a bit. But it's just, it's a nail in the coffin, isn't it, for kind of old school physical games media.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, like I don't really. I mean, I think the game guys used to be quite a big thing. Maybe it's Christmas presents or birthday presents.
Yeah,
Not really
yeah.
a thing anymore. The last one I had was for Black Ops One, and that was a gift. That just helped me find the
Well,
intel for each level.
and some of them as well. I don't know if you remember this, Colin, but some of them were like published before the game was actually finished. So sometimes the information in there wasn't right,
Yeah,
or like they didn't have everything that they kind of needed. Because I guess, you know, I suppose in the modern age it's difficult because with a book you need to hit publish, you know, a week before or whatever. But with a game, it's like, well, they can still be updating stuff and put it in a day one patch.
yeah.
Excuse me.
I
So
swear
yeah,
there used to be like dodgy ones as well. Well, not dodgy ones, but there used to be guides that weren't like 100% official. Like you get the official one, and you get ones that were
yeah.
like just someone.
The worst one for that is there's loads of if ever you go into like those big like Costco or those kind of wholesalers, it's Fortnite books. People love slap publishing Fortnite books that are obviously out of date by the time they're, you know, saved, let alone printed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if you go down to your it's a similar. If you go down to your local Primark, you can buy Fortnite T-shirts.
really.
Yeah, it's really great.
Mm.
It's great. So yeah, that is sad. It's never nice to hear a company go out of business, but to be honest, it's quite a surprise they lasted this long. Really.
Yeah, hopefully they will land on their feet as well. The other two little bits of news I wanted to talk about very quickly before we do the main event. This Saturday sees the latest Splat Fest on Splatoon 2. Kicks off at 8 p.m. Pacific time, and this will see people deciding between Team Salsa and Team Guacamole. Colin?
Gotta be salsa.
You're wrong.
It's difficult because they work together so well. So just picking one without the other just seems wrong.
Yeah, difficult. Be interested to see what wins. And also, 505 Games have announced that Abzu is coming to Switch on November 29th. This is a game set underneath the waves where you interact with all sorts of fish and sunken treasures, and it's a kind of poetic. I've not played it, but you know, reading reviews and stuff, it's a sort of poetic, arty exploration type game with some really gorgeous looking vistas and fish and all sorts of things to discover. So that comes out to Switch on November 29th. So yeah, do take a look at that. We'll embed a tweet. You can watch a little trailer. And I think that's everything, because we need to talk about the main event, Colin, the headline act. Let's talk Game Awards.
The Game Awards 2018. So this came out yesterday or earlier today. We've got the nominations for the 2018 Game Awards. So for a bit of background information, this is the 5th year of the Game Awards, and apparently these are called in the gaming industry, these are called the Oscars of gaming, because there's like a big glitzy star-studded show they have for it. Well, I think it's streamed on YouTube or streamed somewhere, and probably on the website, I don't know. But it's an actual proper show that they have. A lot of people attend it. And what's interesting about it as well, they obviously announced the winners of the Game Awards, but there's also an opportunity for developers to show off trailers for new games. So trailers potentially haven't been shown before, which means there's like a double whammy. It's celebrating this year's great games and also looking forward to potentially great games coming up. But I didn't realize
was when Nintendo first showed the Zelda DLC. So Nintendo have got a really good relationship with them. So I'm hoping there's either some Smash news or some Animal Crossing or Metroid, something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be good. Before we get into the nominations, I just thought it was a bit interesting. We might have even spoken about this last year, but how the voting works. It's an interesting voting system for the Game Awards. 90% of it comes down to a jury of game industry professionals, and 10% comes from the gamers vote, because you can go on their website, you can vote, and we'll put the link to how you can vote and where you vote on the article for this podcast. But that's quite a low amount, really. You'd think it'd be a bit more in the middle, maybe 60-40, not 60-40, if I can do maths, 70-30, but 10%.
I like it though, because I think it means it stops like it's a significant shout, but it stops things from being bombed, like vote bomb, doesn't it? Like if think of like I don't know, someone like Ninja's up for an award. It means that there is, Ninja is, say, the most popular person, but if he's not the most deserving person for the title, it means it wouldn't necessarily. For example, I don't know, but like it means that other, more deserving people are in with a chance. Whereas if it was done purely on audience speculation, then it would just be the most popular, which probably isn't the way an award ceremony is meant to go.
No, that's a good point. Good point. So yeah, that's coming up soon, but. Let's go through the nominations. There's loads of different categories here, so we're not going to talk about every single one. Somehow, I don't think we need to talk about the nominations for the best esports coach. I think we'll avoid that one. But the main one, obviously, the main talking point is best game of the year. So there's already been a lot of discussions about this because it's actually been quite a strong year for AAA big name titles. On the main consoles. So the nominations for the game of the year are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Celeste. Is that how you say it? Celeste.
Yep.
Celeste. Cool. Yes, got it right. That's amazing. And Red Dead Redemption 2. So there's a lot of discussion on this. A lot of people seem to think that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to sweep the awards and win pretty much everything. There's also another discussion as to whether they actually do deserve that. I mean, looking at this list, a lot of people are wanting God of War to win this. I know that was huge when they came out earlier this year. And I think you were a big fan. Did you play God of War? I think you.
I did play God of War. Yeah, I was a very big fan of it.
Yeah. So you've also played Spider-Man as well. I'm actually really interested in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I really want to play that, but not played it yet. I've actually not played any of these games, so I can't comment. But Chris, as someone who's played them, which game do you think deserves the title of Game of the Year?
Look, I've played all of those apart from Celeste, which I will before the end of the year, and Assassin's Creed. It's really difficult, right? Because I feel like Red Dead is this kind of piece of art that is very deliberate and very like languished and very technically incredible. But if you ask me like what was my favorite game, I mean I'm not as far into Red Dead as I played as the others yet, so it might change obviously. But God of War is such a like amazing kind of complete package, and it's never frustrating. It's kind of wonderfully told, and I mean I really hope that God of War does well. I mean, I don't necessarily want it to, and like Spider-Man as well, by the way. I think Spider-Man is a really good game, and I really hope that Red Dead, gets achievements, but I hope it doesn't completely sweep the board, because as good as it is, I would really like to see God of War and Spider-Man get some recognition, because they both feel much more polished, much more complete, much more modern as well. Like Red Dead feels like parts of it are so clunky to play that I just feel like it doesn't. I don't know. I just kind of don't want it to be
just win everything. It's a bit like the Disney effect whenever there's an animated film, just winning everything.
I feel like it sends a slightly wrong message. That's like, it is a really good game, but I don't know if it's as pushing the boundaries as the others, perhaps. But I mean, obviously, it is pushing the boundaries in a lot of technical ways. But I mean, in terms of to play, I don't know if I agree.
I mean, it's nominated for a lot of different awards here. So obviously, Game of the Year, it's nominated for Best Game Direction, Best Narrative Game. It's also nominated for Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, and Best Audio Design, and Best Performance, and Best Action / Adventure Game. So that's a lot of different awards. I mean, I think it'll probably win for Art Direction because it looks absolutely stunning from what I've seen. I mean, a narrative game, I don't know much about the story, but there's a lot of different awards here. It probably will win. I mean, it's going to win a fair few. But it would be nice to see another game win Game of the Year rather than Red Dead, because I think, I don't know, even though I've not played them, I do feel there's games that are more worthy of that title.
Imagine if Celeste won. Like, imagine if like complete giant killer. That'd be so cool.
I mean, look at these massive titles in there, and you got Celeste there as well. I mean, look at these companies who made the games. You've got Ubisoft, obviously, for Assassin's Creed. You got Sony Santa Monica for God of War. You got Insomniac Games for Spider-Man, Capcom for Monster Hunter, Rockstar Games for Red Dead Redemption, and you got Matt Makes Games for Celeste. That's quite funny. really small name there.
It looks like Matt Make Games might be just one person as well.
Well, the name would suggest that it's Matt making games, to be honest. So that would make sense. Let's just quickly look at the best mobile game category because that's relevant for us. So there's 5 games nominated. We've got Donut County, Florence, Fortnite, Players Unknown Battleground Mobile, and Reign's Game of Thrones that are nominated for best mobile game. I feel a bit deflated by those games, to be honest. I mean,
where's 99 Ball Blast?
I know, where is that? And where's Pokemon Go, for God's sake? It's probably going to be Fortnite, isn't it? I'd imagine.
It depends who's voting, doesn't it? I feel like if you ask kind of the average Joe, I think they'd say Fortnite. But I think if you ask like mobile specific people, I think Florence is going to be in with a good shout. I think Donut County could do really well. I think Reigns, the base game is really good fun. So it'd be cool if that got a nod as well. But I mean, yeah, Fortnite is a pretty incredible achievement.
It plays so well. I mean, I didn't like it on mobile, on my phone, just because of the controls and the virtual joystick. But I mean, I think we both agreed that it played really well on mobile, considering like the game it was. So if it's for technical achievement, then yeah, that definitely should get a shout out. I mean, I'm assuming Fortnite's probably nominated for loads. Let's have a look. It looks like it's in 5 different categories. Fortnite, that's not a surprise. I mean, there's loads and loads of different categories here. I mean, we're not going to go through all of them because a lot of them are a bit.
The one that I want to draw attention to is because there's not a lot of love for Nintendo first party stuff here, partly because of when they released. But in best family game, you've got Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink, and Super Mario Party.
I think Labo's got to win that.
Is it the best game though? I mean, I don't know. I like Overcooked 2 an awful lot, but I think that's cool to see Nintendo getting some rep in there. Mario Tennis Aces is up for best sports game as well. Yeah, there's some really cool. Like the categories are really interesting. You've got best debut indie game, which is a great idea for a category.
Yeah,
best esports player as well. I mean, amazing if Sonic Fox won.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if you're being a dick or not. Do you know Sonic Fox?
I have no idea what Sonic Fox is.
Sonic Fox is the esports handle of a this player who is the best in the world at Dragon Ball Fighters, and after he won, just like something like y'all just got beat by a gay furry or something like that, because he plays everything in his furry suit, and that's kind of how he's a very kind of complicated character, but I just think it'd be a really cool kind of progressive step if he won. We'll see.
Wow, I've learned something today. Thank you, Chris.
That's all right.
Thank you very much. So yeah, that's that. And we've got the link, as I said, where you can vote. So you can be part of the 10%, which we'll put on the article, heroes of handheld.wordpress.com. Right. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's a quick episode. Really quick, Colin.
Yeah.
We said that Nintendo looked like they've been hiring for some new for a new Zelda game. Week to ponder. What do you think they're doing?
I think they're making a new game.
Or Switch or 3DS?
Switch. Come on. 3DS is dead. It's all about the Switch now. I swear that Nintendo are focusing most of their attention on the Nintendo Switch, because didn't we mention earlier this year that the sales for Nintendo 3DS had gone up and Nintendo had no idea why, and they were like a bit surprised. They're like, hold on, why are people still buying this console? You should be buying the Switch. What's going on?
What do
you think it means?
I think it's mobile. I think because they said about events, and that to me screams like top-down Zelda for mobile with like randomly spawning dungeons or something.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I just got a little hunch, little hunch.
We know you are the man in the know.
I want to drop a bomb on you before we go. You won't have time to watch this, but for next week, Niantic have just released their Harry Potter trailer.
What?
Wizards Unite. A couple of hours ago now, there's a trailer online, so we'll be watching that. That's your homework for next week.
Oh, that's good. I'm on it now. Cool. Well, we should get out.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this trailer.
It's only 30 seconds. I mean, we could watch it now.
Let's watch it now then. Let's give live reactions.
So, okay, let me know when you're at the start, and we'll click play at the same time.
Where is it? Send me the link.
It's on their Twitter. I will put a link at the top of our Google Doc. If you've missed this, Niantic, Pokemon Go creators, are releasing a Harry Potter game, which obviously Colin is creaming himself for.
I'm frothy for the bloody HQ trivia tomorrow night.
Yes, that'd be good.
Right, where's the link? Come on, man. Where is it?
It's in there. It's at the top.
Oh, yeah. So let's have a look.
You're the worst, but I love you.
Thanks. Here we go. Let's turn the volume on.
Okay, so let me know when you're ready.
Oh shit! I'm already watching it. Sorry.
Oh, you're the worst.
Start from the beginning, right?
I'm watching it. I'm watching it. There's a snitch in an alley.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on that bit.
Ladies caught the snitch. Good work.
Which is evaporated.
Western world is at risk of exposure. We need your help. Coming 2019.
Shit, I am well up for this.
So presumably you'll be catching magical stuff to stop muggles seeing it?
Maybe. I hope it's just not a reskin of Pokemon Go. That would be.
Oh mate, there's a snitch battle in 5 minutes at the gym.
Can you imagine that? There's a Death Eater battle. Quick. Anyway, I'm gonna I can enlist. I'm on the website. Go to HarryPotterWizardsUnite.com. Here we go. Got to put my birthday in. 1st of January 1999. Right, what's there?
Why did you say 1999?
Would be funny, you know.
Are you old enough?
Oh, it's done it the American way. I'm trying to put like the date 28, and it's saying you can't do that. It's because it's done it the American way.
You
I don't give Warner Brothers my email address. Let's try and beats.
There we go. I'm signed up, mate. I'm bloody going for it.
Yeah, I'm now a member
in.
of the Statue of Secrecy Task Force. We'll be sure to keep you posted on the unfolding calamity. Brilliant. I'm keen.
Well, there we go. Well, we'll have hopefully maybe a bit more news on that next week. Colin,
yeah,
how can people get in touch?
You can go to our website, heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com. You can go to contact us on there, or you can look at all the previous episodes of our podcast, going back to the very beginning from years and years ago. You can send us your thoughts through there as well. There's a form you can fill out. You can tweet us at Handheld Podcast, or on Facebook, or over social media. Just search Heroes of Handheld. We are also on the emails. If you email heroesofhandheld@gmail.com, you can drop us a little message there. Love to know your thoughts to anything we've discussed this week. Apart from that, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever good podcasts are sold, we are there. But until next week, I think that's it, and we'll be 1 week nearer to Christmas, and I think I might have to open up the Mariah Carey, get her out of her box, and whip out a bit of Christmas joy. I don't want to look for Christmas. Mariah Carey intro impression I've ever heard in my life.
That's good.
Pretty shocking. Right, thank you for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. But until then, enjoy playing your handheld gaming devices. Goodbye.